In this tutorial, we're going to recreate the apple.com homepage. We're going to do this using the free Neve theme, the free Otter Blocks plugin for Gutenberg. We can create most of the content with Gutenberg. And unfortunately, we do have to use Elementor Pro at the very end because the Apple footer is super complicated and we can't do that using free tools, at least some that I know of. So we use Elementor Pro for that. If you have any questions while you're watching this tutorial, please leave them down below this video and we'll try to answer them as best we can. My name is Bjorn Allpass from ThemeIsle. Make sure you click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. And we're getting started right now. This is the website we're going to rebuild today. It's apple.com. I'm sure you've seen it before. If you haven't, you're seeing it now. If you come here at some point after this recording, it may look different. Apple changes their design and their layout a lot. But always, it's simple and clean and minimalist, just like this one here. And there's four main components. There's the header with the menu system. There's the footer at the bottom. There's this two-column section where there's one block on each side. And then there's the full-width rows at the top. We're going to recreate those four components using the free Neve theme and the customizer options and Gutenberg in combination with the Otter Blocks plugin for Gutenberg. And this is what we're starting with. Not much. We just have the Neve theme installed and nothing else designed. So let's log in here into our dashboard. And if we head over to Appearance, we have the Neve theme installed. It's a simple, fast theme that does everything we need for this tutorial. If you don't have the Neve theme yet, just go to Add New under Themes, search for it on the right. And this is the one we want right up here. And under Plugins, we have Gutenberg Blocks and Template Library by Otter and Optimal Image Optimization. Again, these two you find them just by searching for them. Go to Plugins and then Add New, search for Optimal, spell it correctly without that second I. This first one here is the one we want. And Otter Blocks, you can find us by searching for Otter Blocks. This is the one we have right here. So the first thing we're going to do after the Neve theme is installed is customize our header. Because if we go to our current website, we'll see that our header navigation up here is nowhere near what theirs is here. So what we're going to do is add a logo, and we're going to add menu options. We're going to add a search icon, and we're going to add a cart button. To get this cart button, Neve theme can do it, but we have to install WooCommerce first. So let's add another plugin. Let's look for WooCommerce. Click on Install Now, click on Activate, quickly fill out these settings. We're not going to configure all of WooCommerce, just what we need to get this party started. Just needs an address. We're not going to install payment processor right now. Uncheck that. This is adding another plugin. Don't want that. It's flat rate shipping. These all add plugins. Let's just turn those all off. Continue with Jetpack or no. I'm going to skip this step because that's another plugin. If you want to get their newsletter, enter your email here. Click on Yes, please. If not, we can go back to our dashboard because now WooCommerce is installed. It's not 100% configured. You couldn't be selling things right now on your site. There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube to help you do that. This one is about creating the Apple homepage. But having WooCommerce allows us to add this little cart button. It won't look the exact same, but it's going to be the same idea. So let's head back into our site, go to Appearance, and then Customize. And this is where we're going to build the header. And this header is going to look just like the Apple one, or really close to the Apple one anyway. So these pages that are now added, those were added by WooCommerce. We don't want those there. We're going to head over to Header, Primary Menu, make a primary menu. I'm going to click on Create New Menu, and I'm just going to call this Main Menu. Then I will add items. And these items are going to be the items we see on Apple's homepage. Mac, iPad, iPhone, Watch, TV, Music, Support. See if I can remember that. Mac, iPhone, iPad, Watch, TV, Music, and Support. See how close I got. iPad and iPhone are mixed up. Other than that, I did pretty well. Luckily, we can move those menu items around. So the iPad was first. Let's just move that right up here. And that switches the iPad and the iPhone. If you want to have sub-menu items, all you do is drag and drop any of these till you see a little indent, and you indent it. Now that's going to be a drop-down from iPad. If we hover over iPad here, we see our iPhone option. We don't want that in this case. Just showing you how to do it. So now we have our menu options. Pretty slick. And our search icons are already there. Let's add our shopping cart. We see right here we have cart, which is currently hidden. Check this little eyeball. Now we have our cart. Like I said, it's not the same, but it's pretty similar. It's the same idea. Instead of a bag like Apple has, we have a shopping cart. So now that we have those in place, let's get the Apple logo in here, which is pretty easy. Go to logo inside identity. I'm going to select the logo. I'm going to upload the logo by dragging and dropping. Let's see, let's do this one. Click on select, click on skip cropping. And now we have our Apple logo here, but you can't see it because the background is white and the logo is white and their menu system is black or a really dark gray. So we want to make ours that same color. We have to use custom CSS for that in the Neve theme. So we're going to go back out to the top level, go to additional CSS, and we're going to paste in this piece of code right here. And now we see that our header is black, or the background of the header is black. And all this is saying this selector right here, light mode, which selects this header area, change the background color to black. And up here we have a comment, meaning only we can read it, computers can't. And it says navigation styles, so that the styles or the design we're applying to the navigation will be after this area here. So now we're getting pretty close to how we want the header. We want to change the style of the menu. This is applied to this menu here. So I'm going to change the item color from this dark gray to white. I'm going to change the hover color to slightly gray. Just going to ballpark it. If you go to Apple, their color changes not too much, a little more than ours. Let's make it a little darker gray. There we go, that's pretty close. Looks good to me. I'm going to change, or I'm going to use the same setting for the active menu, or the active item. So when you're on a certain page, the menu item will be highlighted in this color. This icon's a little pixelated, so I'm going to just make that a little bit smaller by going into logo inside identity and shrinking this down to, there we go, that's better. I'm going to turn off the site tagline, the site title, but I'm still going to change the title. This will turn off from being displayed up here. We still have up here, learning to build, recreate magic. So we want to change this to just be Apple, like their website, and erase the tagline. So now when I publish it in just a minute, it's going to reflect what they have. But we also want to replace this little globe here, which is the site icon, which is this right here. So click on there. I'm going to upload our site icon, which is this guy right here. And I just downloaded all these images right from Apple. I didn't make them myself or anything. I'm going to publish our work, because if you don't publish the work, it's not actually saved. And you don't want to have all your work undone by a computer crashing, browser crashing, what have you. So you always want to make sure you publish your work. Now if we refresh, we have our Apple icon, our Apple name, our Apple logo, and our menu system up here. But the spacing is not quite right. Theirs are spread out right across the top. Ours are scrunched into the corner. Now we can go into primary menu again, go to layout and center it. That's still not quite right. We can left align it, still not quite right. We can change the width at the bottom. So we want to have, because it's left aligned right now, this is as far as the menu can go over to the left. We need it to go a lot farther. We can do that by dragging and dropping to shrink these sections. So logo inside identity is now shrunk down to this size, that blue outline right there. And we're going to increase the size of the primary menu, and it goes all the way pretty close to where the logo is. The spacing is still not how we want it, but we can use some CSS, which you can copy and paste from below this video to make that happen. So let's go back out to the very top, go to additional CSS, and just paste it in there. And now we're nicely spread out. There we go, looking pretty good. Let's publish this. So let's look at this on the live site instead of our builder here. So now we're doing pretty well. Ours is knocked down a little lower because we have this banner at the top, the WordPress banner, which wouldn't be there for regular users, just for admin users and people logged into the site, but it's pretty close. And the background color is not black. It's actually, let's just inspect this and see what the background color is. This one right here, RGBA. Let's change our black color here to that RGBA, and now it's more accurate. Refresh. Now we have the same background color as the Apple menu. Piece of cake. Now we have our header. Header's done. Boom. Now we want to add our content. But before we do that, I want to make sure the layout is full width, which is not by default. So we go to layout, go to container, our default container style from contained to full width. Publish. And now the content we add down below here, you're not going to see it change as we refresh here because we don't have any content. But when we do add content, it's going to be able to stretch right across the full width. And we're going to want to get rid of the sidebar. So let's go to Content Sidebar and just turn it off. Publish that. Refresh out here. Sidebar is gone. We can have content full width. We're ready to rock and roll. We'll do the footer at the end. So let's exit our customizer. Now we're going to create a page. Currently we have a bunch of pages added by WooCommerce, Cart Checkout, My Account Shop, and the other pages we created when we created the menu system. It auto creates the pages when we do the menu system inside the customizer. We're not going to use any of these. We're going to create a new page. I'm going to call it Homepage. Seems like a pretty good name. Going to add a full width section to start with because that's going to be the top area. Every gray row you see here, that's going to be one section or one row. So the full width section, the first one is going to be just this content in here. Now that we have a full width section in place, we can add a heading. I like to use the heading, the advanced heading from Otter. Gives you way more options for choosing colors and styling the text. So I'm going to copy that text there, paste it in. On the right hand side, I'm going to center it. I'm going to duplicate this and copy the next piece of text. Once all the text is copied, we'll do some styling. I'm going to change this to an H4. Copy this one. Let's duplicate this. There we go. And then we're going to add buttons, a button group actually. Another Otter element, our button group. We're going to have buy and learn more. So the first one is buy with the right arrow, learn more with the right arrow. I want to center these. And there we have our text content. Let's just see how this looks. Publish, publish. And again, if we don't publish, we don't save our work. Now, if I refresh out here, nothing happens. But if I view this page, we have the page. It's called the home page. Now, we want to have this appearing as the home page, not / home page. To do that, we head into Settings and Reading. We choose a static page, and for home page, we choose home page. Save changes. Now, if we come out here, refresh the home page, we now have our home page in place. Let's go back to pages so we can edit that home page some more. You'll notice on the front end, the title appears at the top of the page. Right here, we don't want that. So on the right side, click on Disable Title. Update. Refresh out here, title's gone. Perfect. We want to add a background color to this section. And the color is going to be this light gray. Let's inspect it, see what that light gray is. Looks like FA, FA, FA. Copy that. Make sure we select the whole section. Under Style, Background Type, choose a custom color. Paste in FA, FA, FA. We have it right there. Let's update this. Come back out here, refresh. And we see the custom color goes right across the page. It's hard to see. It's not a huge difference between white and this color, but it goes right across the page. And now we have our full width section. And you probably noticed by now the biggest drawback of Gutenberg. It's not what you see is what you get. Because here we see our content is in this box. Our content does not go across the full width of the page inside the Gutenberg editor. Yet on the front end, it does. So you always have to go back and forth. It's not like using a regular page builder where you can build something inside the page builder and that's almost exactly how it looks on the front end. Usually it is exactly how it looks. Gutenberg, a lot more back and forth. But either way, we're getting a lot closer to our design that we have for this top section. I want to make the text less bold, the two lines here, and then we want to make these blue. So this text less bold, reduce the spacing, make these guys down here blue. So let's do that. Let's select this, go to typography settings. I'm going to actually change this to be paragraph. That'll make it a lot easier. Make the font size about 19. Change this to paragraph. font size 19 as well. Button 1, border and color, background we want none, border we want none, color we want white. So I had to click those to turn them on, and then it turns them off. Let's see that again. Under Learn More, Color and Border, we don't have a background color selected here, but if we click on any one of these, let's do blue, then click on it again, then it has no background color. So it had that dark gray applied. You choose one, then you unchoose it, and it goes to transparent, which is what we want. And we do that for border just in case we need to. Now we have our color blue, now we have our color blue. That's what we want. Now for button 1, we want to move them a little bit closer. Under padding, we see there's a padding on the right. If we reduce this down to 0, we see those getting closer together. Now let's save what we have. Let's take a look out here, refresh. And we're getting there. Just got to reduce the spacing a little bit. Let's see if there's some padding on these guys. So I'm going to select this first headline. Under Advanced, let's go to Padding and Margin. It has 25 on the bottom. Let's make that 0. Now this one, same thing. Margin padding, make that 0. You notice nothing changes in the Gutenberg editor here, but I can almost guarantee things are changing on the front end. Oop, let's not leave the page. Let's update, refresh out here. We'll see if these distances between the lines change, and they do, even though nothing changed as we're doing it in the back end. That's what I'm talking about. Got to go back and forth with Gutenberg. So I think we pretty much nailed it here. It's going to scroll down so we're not jumping so much. The top headline could be a bit bigger, and the paragraphs could be a bit bigger. This is just nitpicky details at this point because I think we got pretty darn close to what we want. Let's make this 21. And this guy, 21. Update that. Refresh. Looks like our headlines stay about the same. I think that's good enough. Pretty darn close. All right, next section. This we're going to do in 2 sections. It looks like one on Apple, but we're going to make it in 2. We're going to do this headline area, and then we're going to do the image down below it. So first, let's head back into here and click on this main section, duplicate it. And now we're going to change the text to be iPhone XR, which is an image. So I'm going to add an image right here. Upload. I'm going to choose hero image. No, I'm not. I'm going to choose iPhone XR logo. Like I said, I downloaded all these from their website. I didn't make them, just downloaded them. We're going to reduce the size of this guy down to 50%. Let's do it even further. Let's do 150 for the width. Let's center it. Let's delete this section above it. Now we have our nice little image here. Change the text down below. We're going to take this text here and then just paste it in right there. Now we'll take this second line right here and paste it in right here. And you'll notice the Learn More and Buy are reversed. So we reversed them in here just by changing the text. This one will be Learn More. This one is Buy. Now down below this, we're going to add another section. Just going to duplicate this one. Make sure we got the whole section, duplicate it. We're going to remove everything in this block because we're going to add this image as a background image, which gives us some more options for how we can lay it out. The background image will allow us to get the image to be the full size of the block of the section, whereas if we import an image right into the section as an image block, then it won't be the full width. We have to do a lot more tweaking if we do it that way. So let's choose the full section. Right-hand side under Style, choose Background Type of Image. Upload an image. It's going to be these guys right here. We don't even see it here. The image is quite large. Background settings, we're going to choose No Repeat. Background size, choose Cover. I'll try that one first. Click on Update, see how this looks. Refresh out here. Oh, we're getting pretty close. This row is not quite high enough, but we have almost what we need. So we want to reduce this gap that we have here between the two, and even the spacing down below this one here, and then make this second section with the image taller. So one thing at a time. Let's see if there's some padding and margin on the bottom of this section. Margin padding, we have 20 margin at the bottom, 20 padding at the bottom. Let's get rid of those. I'll get rid of all of them. Click on this little link icon, then erase the padding bottom. That removes just padding bottom. Let's make it 0. There we go. Let's see if we have something on this one. We should, because it's the same section. It's duplicated. Under layout, padding and margin, we have padding at the top. Let's make that 0. Margin at the top. Let's make that 0. And let's add more padding to this one at the bottom. Because we want to make our section taller. Because there's no content in the section, we got to add some padding. And that will make it taller to make our image fit right into it. So padding bottom, I'm going to make this 200. And see how that goes. Click on Update. Come back out here. Refresh. So now we've eliminated the white line between the two. And with 200, our image is quite a bit larger, but it's not quite how they have it. Pretty close. We're almost at the bottom of this orangey pinky phone. We're almost there here as well. So let's just add a little bit more. In fact, let's be more precise. Let's inspect this section. Let's find the whole section. As you hover on the right, you'll see things highlighting on the left. When everything's highlighted, that's the one you want. And the padding bottom 200 is right here. Now if I click into this little number here and just press the up arrow, we see it increasing. And that's not what we want, because as we can see, the image is not getting any bigger. So it's not quite working how I expect it, doing it on the front end. So let's go back in the back end, do a little more trial and error. Change the padding to, let's do 300. Update, come back out to our front end, refresh. Ah, there we go. I think we pretty much nailed it. Let's see if we can reduce that a little bit to 270. I think that's pretty good. We have a little more space between our buy buttons and the phones. We can reduce that by choosing the section where the buy buttons are, going to margin, and adding a negative margin on the bottom. And that will pull the section below it up till they overlap. And that gets these a little bit closer. I think that's close enough. We're not going to get this design exact, but we're going to get pretty darn close. Pretty darn close already for these top areas. I think it looks pretty good so far. This is using just Gutenberg, Neve, and the Otter Blocks plugin. You can do some powerful stuff with those. The next section is pretty much the same. Just going to duplicate the two we made. Let's duplicate this one, and then press this down arrow to move it down. Then duplicate the image section, and push the down arrow to bring it right to the bottom. Now we just replace the content. iPhone XS is also an image, so I'm going to add it right here as an image. Upload it. iPhone XS. Make sure it's the same width as this one. This one's 150 wide, so let's copy that. Let's make this one 50% and then 150 wide. Center it. Delete this top one. Now replace the text. The first sentence, this one right here, this one has 3 sentences instead of 2. So let's put that right in there. Second sentence, I'm just copying and pasting. I can actually select these. As you can see, when I try to highlight it, it's all the link, so I can't actually select the text. I wrote it up previously, so you don't have to watch me write this stuff. I'm just copying and pasting what I wrote. Make things a little easier. Duplicate that again. Next is this one here. And we have Learn More and Buy, which is the same order as the one above it. Don't have to change that. And then we have our golden iPhone image down below it. So paste that in there. Learn More, Buy. That's all perfect how it is. The background, all we do is replace the background image. Go to Style, Remove Image, Upload a new image, and it's this one right here. And fingers crossed, everything should be set up properly. Update that. Refresh out here. We're off to the right a little bit. We can change that by changing the positioning. So let's go back into here, background settings. Let's make our background position bottom center. Update. Refresh. That's a bit better. Let's make this one bottom center as well, because we didn't do that last time. It's pretty close already. That's why I didn't think of it. But let's see if we can get even closer. Background position, bottom center, update. Now they're visible in here, which is nice. Not a big change. Big change for the second one, though. Now we have this section set up. Looking pretty darn good. This falling man here is the next section. This is image trickery. It looks like they're doing some really fancy stuff with having him pop out of the background, and they are with Photoshop. But on the website itself, it's not that tricky. They just have an image with transparency where his body parts are a little overlapping. Looks like a pretty fancy trick. It's not that fancy. To make that happen, we're just going to duplicate this section here because it's just an image, or a background image, I mean. Duplicate that. Let's click into the settings for this, go to Style, have our image here, change or remove image, upload a new one, and we want this guy right here. Upload, update. This might be exactly how we want it right out of the box, and it is not. It's too low, so we got to use our padding trick again. Let's see if we can use the inspector to adjust the padding this time. Make sure the whole section is highlighted. We have our padding bottom right here at 270. If we increase this, it's not going to work. What we need to do is change this to be on the bottom. Because when it's on the side, it shrinks the website, so it's responsive, and so it doesn't allow us to really know if we're selecting the right amount of padding, because it's changing width based on the width of the browser. So now we have this at the bottom, so the browser width is not changing as we play around, and looks like we want to be right here, 434 pixels. Let's copy that. Let's apply that to, where is it? Our padding under layout. Padding and margin, padding bottom, 434. Update. I'm going to move this back to the right side because I like it up there. And then close it. Now refresh. And now we have our falling guy right there in the site. Nothing too fancy, just an image as a background. And we need it to be a background because we have information overlaid on top. So let's add that in. Now that we have this as the background, we can just add a block in here. Let's add a heading block, an advanced heading. Now call this AirPods. And center it and make it white and make it bigger. Not that big. How about that big? It's pretty good. Let's add a paragraph below that with wireless charging, I believe it said. Center this. Make it white. And then we have watch film and buy. Gonna make buttons for that again. So down below here, let's add another section. Let's add it right here, actually between the two, and then we'll just push down, make it go down. This is going to be watch the film, and this one is going to be buy. Let's do our same trick. So we took out the background, make the color white, that's good. Background, select something and deselect it to make it transparent. Same for the film. Make the background go away, border go away if there is one. Now watch the film on theirs has an icon to the right of it. We can add an icon too. So under the settings for button 1, go to our icon settings, choose icon to the right, pick an icon. You can search for one. I'm going to search for play. We have this play circle, which is pretty close to what they have. See, theirs is hollow, the play button in the middle, and ours is filled in. And there's a little bit more space between the play button and the circle, but I think we're pretty close. Let's update this, see how it looks. Not great yet. Theirs is centered at the bottom. Ours is messed up and at the top. So let's fix those things. Let's go to our buttons, make sure these guys are centered. For the section, let's put the padding instead of on the bottom. Let's keep 20 on the bottom and put the padding on the top. Now let's update this, see how it looks. We're getting closer. Let's change the spacing. We want to have less spacing to the right of watch the film. Let's go to padding and padding right. Let's take that right down to 0. And this guy might have padding left. He does. Let's take that right down to 10. That's pretty good. And this may have padding or margin at the bottom. Has margin 25 at the bottom. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this guy's padding and margin if it has any. Nope. No padding margin for the paragraph widget. But I think now we're pretty close. Text is a bit bigger. Headline's a bit bigger. Let's make those a bit bigger. Style, font size, let's make it 66. And for the text, let's make the font size, let's see, 24. Update, refresh. And if you're concerned you don't have enough ability to change this this text here, because all I really have is a font size, make a drop cap or not, and that's about it. You can always make this an advanced heading. So let's go to advanced heading again. Let's just copy, paste it in here, make it white, make our font size the same, 24, center it. But now we have all these typography settings as well. Font style, font transform, font family, letter spacing, line height, shadow properties, all kinds of things. Change it from an H2 to be a span tag or a paragraph tag. I'm going to change mine to span. Applies less margins. I'll also delete this one. The advanced heading is one of my favorite widgets in the Otter Blocks. Let's change our padding bottom here back to 0. Refresh. I think we're looking pretty good now. This one's got some padding somewhere. It doesn't. I'm going to add a negative padding at the bottom because I want to move the text a little higher. This text right here. There we go. I think that looks pretty legit. So now we have all those main rows done. Looks pretty good compared to the Apple site. Now we got to create these 2-column widgets on the sides, and these would be pretty similar as well. All these have text or buttons at the top and then images below it, and that happens 6 times. And also, it's very much the same as these. Text and buttons at the top, image below it. So I'm pretty sure we can just copy this row into a 2-column section. Let's see if it works out as easily as I think it will. Go back into Gutenberg Editor, click on the plus icon, and click on Section. Now we can choose column layouts in here. And we want to have a 2-column layout, equal width on each side. Click on that. Now we have a column here and a column over here. Now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. Let's duplicate this one. Let's just move that down to or above the section, and then I'm going to try dragging and dropping it right into place right there. So far so good. Doesn't look good, but that is unfortunately how it works in the Gutenberg editor. It'll look fine on the front end, doesn't look very good in the back end sometimes. Okay, let's drag and drop this one down below. Right there. Now we're going to edit this to match what they have. Watch Series 4. The Apple Watch is another image. So let's add another image block right here. Hover until you get the little plus icon. Keep on trying until you get it. Let's just remove this block. Get that out of the way. Might help. It's not helping. There we go. Now let's click on Upload. And Apple Watch title is the one we want. Put that right in there. Make sure it's centered. We can delete the other one. Now for the text, we have more powerful, comma, more colorful, period. Simple enough. More powerful, comma, more colorful, period. The second paragraph, the second sentence, remove that. Keep our learn more and buy now, just like they have it here. And now replace this image down here, this background image of the section, with the Apple Watch image, which is this one right here. Let's quickly make sure the settings are as we expect, and these are as we expect. The same ones we set for the other rows earlier. Let's come back out here, refresh the page, and see what we have. Here we have our Apple Watch Series 4 block. Looks pretty darn good. The title's a little bit too big, so let's make that a little smaller. This guy right here, let's change that to 50%. For some reason, it's still saving. I'm just going to refresh the backend editor. Sometimes that happens. Just catches on the updating process. I don't know why that happens sometimes in Gutenberg, but sometimes it does. Let's move this to 50% again. Click on Update. This time it didn't catch on it. And if I refresh out here, we now have a much more palatable size. And we compare this to the Apple site, and I think it's looking pretty darn good. And now we just rinse and repeat. This one would be the exact same, just a bigger header, a different button, another image. This one would be the exact same. This one is pretty much the exact same, just a different background color. This one is pretty close, and this one is pretty close. So I'm going to just fast forward while I do that because it's the exact same process. You don't have to watch me do it step by step every single time. Just going to fast forward so you can watch how it works, and then you'll be able to do it on your own. So I'm just gonna unfast forward here and highlight something. So this big white space here is padding and margin applied to sections. Each section you add with Otter Blocks applies padding and margin to the section, and these gaps get bigger and bigger. And the Apple gap is quite small. So we want to go in and delete all that padding and margin. Got to go into every single section and do that. So go to the big main section, go to padding and margin. We see we have all this padding. Let's make all the padding 0, all the margin 0. And if we go into this section here, it should have some more. There we go, 20 on everything. Let's make this all 0, except for the bottom. Some of these we applied earlier because we needed to for certain things. So we might have to go back and reapply padding and margin in certain places. Let's make these all 0. Keep that -35. Click on Update. See if that improves our gaps a little bit. Not quite yet. Let's go up to this one. Padding margin 0. Everything 0. Inside this one, make it all 0. Keep that -35. Make these ones all 0. Keep that -35. This one's got a bottom of 270, artifact from earlier. See what happens when this all goes to 0. We may have to actually, you know what, that 270 we can't change. I take that back. I have to keep that 270 for the bottom, maybe not that big. We do have to keep that because that allows us to have our image be the right size. Let's update that, come back out here, refresh. Still have some gaps going on. So let's do a little more tweaking. And those are the same height again. Change our column gap to no gap. Let's make it narrow. That should be the space between these columns right here. Didn't change it too much. Let's make it no gap. Update that. That's a bit narrower. On this one down here, make our column gap no gap. These sections make our column gap no gap. And then if you click into, you have these sections, which are denoted by these 6 dots, but then you also have interior areas that also have margin and padding. There's a lot of margin and padding around. So there's a lot of places to find it, a lot of places to change it. But once you have it done once, and because we're duplicating these sections, it'll duplicate with the appropriate margin and padding. Put our column gap to 0 for these 2 as well. And then we're ready to take a look. Oops. Ready to take a look at what we have. I could select this section, that'd be great. That's fine. Let's see how it looks. So now we have our gap between our columns as 0. We want to have a little bit of a gap. So let's go back in and add some gap. Our column gap, let's make it narrow. Our column gap for this one, make that narrow as well. Update. Not quite how we want it yet. And then on the main section, sometimes it's really hard to click into the specific sections in Gutenberg just because they overlap and interact, and it can be a bit of a pain trying to pick the appropriate sections. I think I got them all. Okay, now we have a much smaller column gap, which is what we want. That's perfect. And now our gaps are much better. So now when I duplicate this section, it should be set up exactly how we want it. I can duplicate this whole thing again. Except we're going to make the bottom row. The last one we have to do is this one down here. Same process again. I'm just going to fast forward. It's the same as before. I just slowed down to regular motion to show you all the margins and things you have to delete sometimes. I'm just going to fast forward again and build these two blocks. Okay, there we go. Now we have these last two blocks. This one on the right is a little bit different because it is a full background image. Even this piece here I have as a background image. And we need to add some space in here, some padding, to make this the right height. So I'm going to right click on this, inspect it, see how much padding we need. Move this one down to the bottom again. And I'm going to add a bunch of padding to this section right here. Should be the right section. Let's add padding bottom. Just holding shift and pressing up to go all the way to the bottom. There, now they're the same height down here. So it's 353 pixels. So let's add that for our padding on this full section. There we go. Let's add our padding on the bottom. Not on everywhere. Make sure you click this little link icon so it doesn't apply it everywhere. Padding on the bottom 353. Let's update that and see how it looks. Now we have the appropriate height, but our image is not quite right. Let's see if we can manage that using our background position settings and our background size. So background position, let's put bottom center as a required option, and then cover. Let's see if that does it for us. And that did it for us. Now we have this section or this block, and this block looking just like the Apple website. And now if we quickly review what we've done, we've created, this is our demo site here. This is pretty much exactly how it is on the Apple website. Just comparing the two, this is the Apple website now. They look pretty much identical. And we use just the free version of the Neve theme and the free Otter Blocks for Gutenberg add-on. Now the last thing we have to do is create the footer. The footer is a little trickier because their footer is very complex. The Neve theme can't create a footer like this, not the free version nor the paid version, because both those versions allow you to have 4 columns in the footer and then one footer navigation menu. And this has 5 columns in the footer. Plus it also has this text area here, this content area here, these dividers. It changes orientation for the menus from vertical to horizontal for these ones. And it's just not possible in the Neve theme. You could possibly get it done in Gutenberg using Otter Blocks, but then it would only be on that one page. It wouldn't be a template for the footer for the whole site. So you're left with creating this either manually using template files or using a page builder like Elementor Pro, because that will allow you to create footer templates. Elementor Free does not allow you to create footer templates. So we're going to install Elementor Pro and create this right now. So let's go back into our site and go to Plugins and Add New. Look for Elementor. Click on Install Now and then Activate. We can ignore this for now. Now we're going to install Elementor Pro, which we have to install manually. We download it from their website and we go to Plugins, Add New, Upload Plugin. Then I'll choose Plugin File for my hard drive. I will find Elementor on my hard drive, upload it, install it, activate it, and then link it to my license, connect and activate. If you don't have a license to Elementor yet, there's a link in the description down below to help you get that. It is an affiliate link. If you purchase through that link, the email does make a few dollars off of that. It doesn't make it any more expensive for you to buy it through that link, but it helps us keep making these videos. Click on Connect to connect our license to this website. And now we have an active Elementor Pro license. And now we have a templates option right here. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on Add New. I'm going to choose Footer for a template. If we have just a free version of Elementor, templates are available, but I believe it's only page and section. Elementor Pro adds all these other ones down below. I'm going to create a footer. I'm going to call this site footer. Click on Create Template. I'm not going to choose any of these blocks. I don't need any of those. But now we're building our footer down below here. And the first thing we have to do before we follow through with that is create all of these menus that we have here. And I've created them already. I've created all these ones that you see up here. I'm going to create this one down below so you can watch me do it so you see how they're created. It's the exact same process for all the rest. And I created every one with a headline as its own menu. So Shop and Learn is its own menu right here. Apple Store is its own menu. For Education is its own menu. For Business, for Healthcare, Account, Apple Values, for Government, and for Apple. So we had to create a lot of menus to make this work. I'm going to quickly create this one as well so that you can see how it works, how we can create them. Let's go to Appearance and then Menus. I'm going to Control-click to open that in a new tab. I'm going to click on Create Menu. I'm going to call this Footer Menu. Click on Create Menu. And I'm going to add custom links, not live pages, because we're not going to create pages for all these things. Just going to create custom links. So first, privacy policy, and then terms of use. Terms of use, and sales and refunds, legal, and sitemap. Sales and refunds, legal, and sitemap. All as many items are in there. If you create them in the wrong order for whatever reason, you can drag and drop these around. You can move them to wherever you want. You can also indent them like this, and that makes them a drop down of the menu item above it. I'm going to keep them just like this because this is the order on this site. Click on Save Menu, and I've created, like I said, I created all the others already, but you create them the exact same way. I'm not going to bore you with walking you through all of those because it takes quite a while. Now we can build out our footer in here. I'm going to put the Apple menu down below so we can see it while we're working. Just going to move this browser window down so we have our Apple menu. That's good enough. And then move this one up so it's the top. And now we can build it up top and look at it down below. This makes our workflow a lot easier. First things first, let's make this a full width section. So let's add a section. Let's make it full width. Let's stretch it across. And let's add a background color of this darker gray. Go to Style, choose Background Type, use this brush, choose a color. And the background color for these blocks right here is FA, 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 which we used earlier throughout the site. This one's a little bit darker, so I'm just going to eyeball it. Doesn't have to be exact. So FA, FA, FA is the one for above it. For the regular blocks, I'm going to move this down a little bit farther. And it's a little bit darker. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to copy this content right here. And we're going to add a text editor, drag and drop that in. Paste that text. There we go. I'm going to change this section. Not going to make it full width anymore. I'm going to stretch it. I'm going to keep it boxed. So the background is stretched to the sides, but the interior is boxed, just like theirs is. And this font, this text is a little bit too big. It's going to make it size 12. That's a lot better. Theirs is on 4 lines. Let's make ours 13. There we go. That's pretty good. Now we're going to add a divider. Just search for the widget right here, divider. Really simple. Have a divider there. Theirs is gray. So I'm going to change the color to a nice gray. There we go. That's pretty much what theirs is. And now we can add menu items down below. But to do that, we have to add another section. I'm going to create another one and use 5 columns. Now we have 5 columns across here that we can just add our menus to. First, I'm going to copy the background color. Let's get the color code right there and then paste it under style, create a background color, paste it right in there. Now we have the same background color, and now we're going to add the menus. Let's look up navigation menu. So this is the one that will pull in a WordPress menu directly from WordPress without any styling options. You can do that with Elementor Free as well. With Elementor Pro, we have this nav menu option, which allows us to style pretty much every detail of our menu to make it exactly how we want it. Now I've named these menu items the headlines. So this one's called About Apple, which is this one at the very end here. I'm going to look for Shop and Learn from this dropdown. So Shop and Learn is this one. And here's our Shop and Learn. And it looks like a mess when we put it in there like this. So it's not quite how we want it. I want to change the layout from horizontal to vertical. Now it's more like how we want it. And I'm going to also change the typography to make it not bold. A little thinner, that's pretty good. Change the font size to make it smaller. There we go. Now let's change the spacing between the menu items. Horizontal padding puts it right to the left edge. We have that as 0. So you move it away from the left edge if you want. We're going to put ours right to the edge. Vertical padding shrinks the size between the menu options. And space between does the same as well. So the vertical padding we want to have about like this. And we're going to add a headline called Shop and Learn. So let's go to our widgets again, search for heading. We can drag and drop it right into there. Let's call it Shop and Learn. Go to style, and I'm going to change this to from H2 to an H4, H5. In the footer, you want to have a higher level H4, 5, 6, something like that. Throughout the content, you want to have H2s, H3s. It helps search engines identify what your page is about. And the footer is not as important as the content on the page. So you definitely don't want to have H1 or H2 or H3 in the footer. Let's change the color of this font to be about like that. And make it a little bit smaller. It's pretty good. Change the weight, make it a little bit lighter. Too light. Let's just keep it right there. I want to change the padding down below, or the margin, sorry, to make that negative. Maybe we can do it without being negative. Let's see if we can change the padding on the menu instead. Because I don't want to have that big gap between the two. Looks like we have to go negative. Let's move that up. There we go. And now when we hover over the Apple menu, we see we just get an underline, and that's it. under ours, we currently have the text turning green, this huge green line. That's called the pointer. So we want to come to our content tab, and our pointer is currently set to underline. If we have it at none, doesn't do anything, just changes the color on hover. First, let's change the color. The color stays the same. So let's not have a color change. Go to Style. Pick our text color by going to Text Color under the Normal tab. And we're going to make it, just eyeball it, make it pretty much like theirs on the Apple site. That's pretty close. And I'm going to copy this hex code, click on the Hover tab, and paste it in there. And now when we hover, the color does not change. But we also do not have underline. And unfortunately, there's no option to have a simple underline for the pointer in Elementor. There's so many options to have crazy hover options, as you can see here, background, framed, all these cool features, overline, underline that goes all the way across. But we don't want any of those. We want to have just underline on the text. And for whatever reason, that simple option is not possible. Let's see what text does. Makes it pop out. That simple option is not possible. So we have to go to advanced. We have to scroll down to custom CSS. In here, we type A, colon hover, open and close curly brackets, text decoration, underline. This is saying when we hover over an A is a link, HTML tag for a link is an A. And when we hover over one of those, we have a text decoration of underline. And that gives us just this really simple underline. And there we have our first menu all set up. Now we can just copy and duplicate and switch these things out. So we can do the first one. I'm going to fast forward the rest. So I just duplicated the title, moved it over here. I'm going to change this to Apple Store. I'll duplicate this menu, drag and drop it over, below Apple Store, change it from Shop and Learn to Apple Store. Boom. Done. Now it's going to fast forward as I do the others, and you can just watch as I do them. All right, there we go. All the menus are in place and we're looking pretty solid compared to their menus down below here. And we're going to add this piece of text right here. Just copy that. Just going to duplicate this one that we have up here. Drag and drop it. You want to cancel that. Duplicate this whole section because we're now going from a 5-column section to a 1-column section to get this text in there. There we go, there's our text. Super easy, divider down below. And now we want to have another section down below this, which is going to be a 3-column section because we have our copyright text here, then a menu in the middle, and then a language switcher on the right. So we're going to have a 3-column section below this. Click on the plus icon to add a 3-column section. In here, let's just duplicate this guy, drag and drop that element in there. Paste it in. Easy peasy. Let's copy the background color. F4, 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 apply it to this one. We can do copy and then paste style, but watch what happens. Watch what happens to the column width. Right now, the 3 columns are stretched across the entire area. We paste that style, and now the column widths are all messed up. So you don't want to paste style in this case. I'm going to just apply the background color manually, and then we have our matching background color like so. And in here, we just want to add a menu. Let's just duplicate this one. Duplicate that, drag and drop it in there. I'm going to change our margin to be back to 0. I'm going to change it from a horizontal layout, or sorry, from a vertical layout to a horizontal layout. Change the menu to footer menu, which isn't in here. Let's click on publish to save our work. We want to choose a place for this to appear. We want to add a condition. We want to include the entire site. So this means that the footer template is going to appear on the whole site, which is exactly what we want. Click on save and close. And now I'm going to refresh this page because we created the footer menu while this editor was open. So now if I go into this menu and I choose the menu here, we now have the footer option right here, which we didn't before. Now we have our vertical menu. We just have to add some spacing and some vertical lines between the menu options. To add the spacing is quite simple. All we have to do is go to Style and Horizontal Padding, and we just increase horizontal padding until it's about what it is down below. And then we see it goes to 2 lines, which is not what we want. We can drag and drop our column edges to make the columns wider or thinner, depending what we need. Make this one a little wider, and I think that's pretty good. And now another shortcoming of Elementor Pro is we cannot do vertical lines with Elementor Pro unless we add custom CSS. Luckily the CSS is pretty simple. Just go to the Advanced tab, go to Custom CSS, and just copy and paste from the description down below what I'm copying and pasting right into here. And that is this piece of CSS right here. You can copy it from the description down below and just copy and paste it yourself. One thing to note is that this menu item 167 is specific to this menu item right here, the sitemap, and it adds a border, or sorry, removes the border from the right-hand side. This option, or this CSS rule, adds a border to the right of all the menu items, and then this one takes it off the very last one. Normally you can add this last child pseudo selector and not worry about this exact selection of the menu item, but that's not working in this case for Elementor, so we don't need this piece right here. And we just need to have this, and you need to find this exact selector for the menu. To do that, let's click on Update. I'll just quickly show you how to find that. We come back out here. We don't have a footer. We refresh. And now we have our Elementor footer right there. Looking very nice. And to find the selector for this option or this menu item here, right-click on it, click on Inspect. And all the menu items are in this list. So the first menu item is item 163. Next one's 164. As we scroll down, we can see them being highlighted up above. And 167 is the sitemap menu item. You just double click into here, copy this, and then paste it into your CSS, whatever your menu item ends up being. If you don't have this in here, you don't need to have this. And if you don't have it, it'll have a border on the right-hand side of the sitemap. So if you're okay with that border, don't worry about the second part. Just copy and paste this piece. If you want the border gone, you've got to find the selector for the menu item that's at the end and add this piece of CSS. And then the very last section, I'm not going to add a flag in here. I'm just going to copy this piece of content. We don't have a real language switcher anyway, so I'm just going to pretend we have nothing really. Just going to add United States. I'm going to align it to the right. I'm going to correct the spelling on that. There we go. United States on the right-hand side. I'm going to reduce our spacing here because we can see this border is quite tight and this is quite loose. So let's reduce our spacing. Let's go to this one here, add a margin bottom of negative. Keep making this negative until it's right up there. That's pretty good. And then have margin bottom on the divider itself. Let's move that right up. Not so far, disappeared. There we go, that's a lot better. We have the same or similar spacing issue here, although not as bad. Theirs has quite a bit more space for that second divider. And there we go, that's pretty good. Let's reduce the bottom spacing a little bit here for that. And there we go. I think we nailed it. I think we nailed that footer. Click on Update again. come back to our site. Let's make this full screen. Refresh. Now we have our awesome footer, possible only with custom CSS or page builders that allow footer templates. And this one here is a little low, this block. Let's just fix that really quick and then we're all done. So I'm just going to click into the background of this block here, go to layout, padding and margin. Let's just reduce this to 133 and update to see what happens. There we go, that's a lot better. And now we're done. We have replicated the Apple homepage and we've done a pretty good job using mostly free tools. I tried to use only free tools, but the Apple footer is complex and we can't do that with any free tools that I know of unless you're going to custom code it, which you probably don't want to do. So we used Elementor Pro for this, and I think we got pretty darn close to the original on the apple.com website. So that's how we recreate the Apple homepage. Obviously, you shouldn't just recreate it and put that on your own site. You should use what you learn in this tutorial to create something awesome that's totally unique to your site, because you can do it. Take what you learn here, apply it to your own projects, and you can create awesome stuff. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. We'll try to help as best we can. And also make sure you like this video if you liked it. My name is Bjorn Allpass for Theme Isle. Until next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.